ahead.
Well, just to recap, folks, is we join you here on a Friday afternoon after the 4th of July.
Yeah.
A typical summer afternoon, anything but, I suppose, here in Myrtle Beach, as a tornado has come ashore. We've had several reports of damage and, I suppose, minor injuries from what we understand. Of course, we have crews out and about getting the information for you right now.
And have reports still coming in. Myrtle Beach Police, we talked with them earlier, and they are asking, as are other law enforcement agencies, that even if the storm has passed your area, please stay indoors. Do not go outside to see the damage. There are power lines that are hot, that are down. Santee Cooper crews are working on those. As obviously, if there's some standing water around because there was some rain. We saw pea-sized hail along the Myrtle Beach Pavilion, but we know that along Restaurant Row had a tornado that has damaged some of the roofs of some restaurants in that area. In Myrtle Beach, we had 2 water spouts right offshore. Yeah. One came ashore, and once it comes ashore, it becomes a tornado, right, which was the one we have the video of over the 2nd Avenue Pier. We actually had a second one that merged with that, and we have had some reports of damage in Myrtle Beach. But they are asking that you please stay indoors and don't be out on the roadways, particularly right along the Grand Strand area, because the emergency vehicles are having a hard time getting through. They need to get through to the people. If we do have injuries or damage, they need to get through the firefighters and the ambulances and the police cars.
You're looking at a live picture there from the pavilion looking down Ocean Boulevard to the south. We're just about an hour ago now, I suppose. It's about an hour. Quite a sight at that same location further down the beach as a tornado came ashore. And as we were talking with Ed, pretty much sat there, it seemed, for an eternity. And of course, when you're out there in a situation possibly near that funnel cloud, all you want it to do is go away, and it just seemed to sit there and sit there and sit there and then move down.
Yeah, we have crews all along the Grand Strand. Carrie Schwartz is joining us now live by telephone to let us know. Carrie, where are you and what have you seen? Carrie, can you hear me?
I can now. How you doing?
Good. Where are you and what have you seen today?
Well, we were heading to the beach on Highway 501. We actually saw the tornado from Highway 501. We've been all over south end of the beach. We were driving south on Ocean Boulevard. There's lots of flooding there on Ocean Boulevard. And Spring-Made Beach really got hit hard by this rain and the tornado that touched down there. We've seen a lot of power lines down, and if they weren't completely down, they were half bent over to the ground. We've also seen lots of damage to some homes, shingles and roofing torn off of them. And again, there were also some reports, this is important, there was a report that the pier at the Myrtle Beach State Park had collapsed. We took a drive down there, and we can confirm that the pier at Myrtle Beach State Park is okay, it's completely intact, so no real damage there. But again, lots of flooding around the area. Right now, we're on the former air base, where there is, again, lots of flooding, power lines down, police and firefighters are all over the place here trying to fix the damage that's been done and keep traffic moving. Traffic going south of the beach on 17 is at a standstill, not moving at all. And the rain is still coming down here in Myrtle Beach, and that's the word. We'll check in a few minutes with you guys as well. I'm Carrie Schwartz, live in Myrtle Beach.
Carrie, thank you very much. Carrie, are you still there? I just want to ask you, have you had a chance to talk with any folks about what they saw or what they're feeling at this point?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Have you had a chance to talk with any folks out down there on the Grand Strand about what maybe they saw or what they're feeling at this point?
Well, I'll tell you, the people that we did see were all in their cars, and like I said, there's just a ton of traffic here. We actually did see one car that was turned over in a ditch. It was a Jeep, and mostly, Keith, I'll tell you, the people that are outside are the police officers and the firefighters. The people are not hanging outside of their cars, and I'm actually, to tell you the truth, surprised to see this many people out in this kind of weather in their cars, considering how heavy the rain is coming down and how bad the lightning is at this point. So we haven't spoken to anyone. We've actually been stuck in traffic most of the time, but most of the people, as I said, are in their cars and not really going anywhere too fast.
Oh, that's good to hear, because we know a lot of times when there's storms like this, people will venture out, take a look and see what's going on.
Have you seen any obvious injuries anywhere, Carrie? Anyone injured?
No, we haven't. We've seen lots of trees down. We haven't seen anyone hurt. We've been listening real close to the scanners. We haven't heard police say of any personal damage to anyone, but like I said, as far as property damage, there's plenty of that to be found here throughout the beach. But we have not heard of any personal injuries at this point, and we are keeping it close here on those scanners, so we'll be sure to let you know if we hear any signs of that as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot. Carrie Schwartz reporting live from the former Myrtle Beach Air Force Base. And Carrie said there were a lot of people out on the roads. Unfortunately, the timing of this was right around rush hour on a Friday afternoon on what many are considering a holiday weekend because it's right after the 4th of July. And it's an unfortunate time with so many tourists and people trying to get home and be out on the roadways.
Absolutely, especially in that 17 bypass area, you know, in Myrtle Beach, heading south is extremely crowded. And most any day of the week, and especially on Fridays when you have extra traffic, people maybe heading out, and that unfortunately is the direction where this storm was headed.
Yeah, Carrie talked about something which is the flooding on the roadways, and that you have to be particularly careful of. You never want to drive through any amount of water on the roads like that because you're not sure how deep it is.
Yeah.
Plus, there can be live power lines. We have so many power lines down across our area or across the Grand Strand, and you don't ever know. There could be one underneath the roadway. Again, the police departments are asking you to please stay indoors. Do not go out. Again, Carrie's saying that traffic's at a standstill on Highway 17 bypass, which is not unusual for this time of day on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
But with everything going on out there, to be safe and let the emergency vehicles get through and get the work done that they need to get done.
Also, I think there's a lot of uncertainty, too. People not sure where the storm is, if it's gone, so they're kind of sitting tight, waiting to see what's happening. But we're tracking all that for you, and of course we'll let you know as soon as we have more details about exactly the path that this storm took and the amount of damage. You know, with these storms, we always talk about the strength of them, and luckily, as you said earlier, this wasn't one of those massive F4, F5 tornadoes that, I mean, unbelievable amount of damage.
But even so, any tornado can cause a loss of life, can cause damage, and a lot of the loss of life actually comes after the tornado when someone gets touches a hot power line that's down. Or with all the debris that's out there, so you need to be very careful. So let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Ed Piotrowski to see where the latest threat is. Ed?
All right, thank you very much, Allison and Keith. We've got the Weather Center back operating now. We've got some data to report to you now. And now that I'm not blind to what's going on, I can tell you that the threat is definitely over with for most of Horry County now. The storms are heading southward out of Myrtle Beach, and it appears that there may be some circulation right here. That's good news because it's actually just off the coast of Georgetown. We haven't had any reports of touchdowns on the land areas in Georgetown County as of yet. That doesn't mean it hasn't occurred. We just haven't had that report. We've had reports of some waterspouts just off the immediate coast out near Murrells Inlet and off the coast of Pawleys Island and toward Georgetown here. And that would make sense given the fact that this storm continues to push southward away from the immediate Grand Strand here, but you can see storms building all the way back out to the west as well. But again, the highest threat does appear to be over northern Georgetown County, where there is well, it just expired actually, the tornado warning for Georgetown County. So hopefully at this point in time, from what we're able to see here, the threat is now out over the ocean rather than over the land areas. But you can't let your guard down as of yet. Make sure you still get to that lowest floor until we can confirm that the threat is completely over with. And one of the ways I'll do that is by looking not only at the Doppler radar to show you where the precipitation is, but there's a function in Doppler radar that allows you to detect air motion in a thunderstorm. And the air motion in the thunderstorm is circulating just off the coast of Georgetown right now. That's why I believe the threat is off the coast right now. But until we see that for a lengthy amount of time and we're sure nothing's building back over land, you need to stay prepared just in case. Keith and Allison?
Yeah, Ed, you said the Weather Center's back up. Can you see your monitors now?
No, I can't see you guys at all. I can hear you, and I'm relying on our producers to tell me what's going on.
We're going to show you some of that video. If we could get that back on the air too, folks in the back.
I did see that with my own two eyes, so it's very much ingrained in my brain at this point in time.
I bet so. Yeah, right now we're looking at you can see the definite rotation there right over the 2nd Avenue Pier, which it stayed there a while.
Once again, folks just getting home from work, Ed, if you would just kind of recap what you experienced this afternoon. Ed, you still there?
I'm sorry, could you say that again, Keith?
Yeah, Ed, we obviously some folks just getting home from work, turning on the TV and seeing quite a sight here. Would you mind recapping a little bit what you saw this afternoon?
Sure. Just a little bit after 4 o'clock, we're sitting in the Weather Center, and I was obviously looking at the radars, very intently looking at the storms that were over the northeastern part of Horry County, wondering if they were going to issue a warning. And then we got the report of very strong winds over North Myrtle Beach, and then we saw a funnel cloud which actually touched down. And if you look at this video very carefully, you'll see the actual funnel, but notice the debris cloud that rotates around that funnel is extensive. That's where most of the damage was occurring, was right around that funnel.